So I'm working on the Bach Prelude in D major, the standard tuning version, and I just want to show you some of the difficulty I'm having with dystonia today. So here's my focal dystonia. Watch my index finger. You can see that it just wants to catch. So this arpeggio should go like that. I'll play it real slow. When I play it in time for the Bach Prelude, watch what happens. I can't quite get it back to the string. Right there, you can see it. Right there. I'm missing the string altogether. That was better. So, if I catch my index finger with my thumb, that could help. If I wanted to play this song in that traditional way, I could keep it from moving further. It still wants to catch. So what if I played it this way? That to me feels super fluid. Even on the beginning of the piece, I could play it this way. So anyways, for dystonia's sake, people ask me like, you know, what are you really doing with Brandon and your guitar playing? And also the other thing would be if I'm going to do a pattern that I used to play like on Villa-Lobos, I used to go, you know, like this. And sometimes that gets kind of jumbled up. Again, I could play it slowly. So the technique is fine when it's slow, but as it gets quicker, and I try to go, the index finger almost gets caught in the air, and I want it to go back to the string, and it's telling me you're not going to make it. So, what if I played that with just thumb and ring? I don't know if I could keep that going all the way through the piece. I could practice it though. Also on this Bach Prelude in D minor, I'm doing this. In that middle part of the arpeggio, in the D minor arpeggio, I'm actually switching it out with thumb and ring. Watch. Here's the traditional way. Like that. Here's my new addition to the technique to solve my problem. It works. That's the idea. So I'm actually using thumb and ring to sort of do some things that I can't do where the index finger leads. It's usually on arpeggios where the index finger leads before the middle finger. So if I do something like this, that's when it starts to act up if I make that quicker, right? You can tell that it's just kind of, and I actually used to play that aguado etude like this. I would go with middle finger and ring finger. But if I do something, like let's say I take one of the Giuliani studies and I do this. There's no problem playing that arpeggio because I go from thumb to middle. So if I go, if the index is only playing one time after the middle finger, it doesn't seem to affect my dystonia. So that's kind of nice. If I speed it up really quickly. So yeah, it's a crazy thing, focal dystonia, but for me, I was actually diagnosed with generalized dystonia and that is I'm taking meds for and everything. So it's more than just the musician's dystonia thing. It's actually, I'm on meds because I have a tremor in my right foot. I have a tremor in my right hand that goes like this, right? It only happens when my muscles are at rest. I used to have a huge tremor in the left hand, but it's gone away because I've been exercising more, I think. So yeah, anyways, just to break down some of this stuff for you guys, it's kind of a fun little way to communicate to everybody that I'm not, I'm not completely through the woods yet. I'm just trying to figure out, ways to make it work. So yeah, anyways, I wanted to just do a video where I could walk through and kind of give you guys a better idea of what some of that stuff would look like for a classical guitar. So far, it doesn't really mess up my pick playing. The only thing about being a classical guitarist and playing rock guitar and jazz and blues is a lot of times the other side of my eye fingernail just gets eaten away. And so I always, go back and forth between what am I going to practice. If I'm singing songs, if I'm singing a bunch of Rush songs, I'll take some tape, a medical tape, and just sort of put it over the other side of my index finger on that side. And that helps me be able to do all the things I need to do there if I'm playing my Taylor and singing. And then it doesn't eat away the nail as much. But when I play rock guitar with a pick, and if I'm doing, pinch harmonics and stuff like that, the other side of that index fingernail just gets worn down. So I think that's why a lot of our teachers wanted us to not play electric guitar when we were playing classical. And that definitely makes a lot of sense. I never stopped playing electric altogether. But, it's a very different thing. Okay, so also it seems to be for me, I have a little bit of dystonia in my left hand too, because sometimes I'll be playing and my fingers just, my third finger and my fourth finger just flatten out like that. That can be a very interesting approach as well. So I haven't really figured that one out yet, but I do see it happen especially if I'm improvising, because I don't really have any prior knowledge of that particular run or how it flows into the next run. It's just more spontaneous. So I tend to have some of those dystonia things happen just because I'm going from one place to the next. So anyways, I don't know. I just decided to make a quick little video on how dystonia affects me. We just had Dystonia Awareness Month in September, so I'm happy to have this conversation to almost give a little bit more detail into how crippling some of this stuff can be. I think overall it's probably made me turn into more of a crossover player, which in a sense I've always have been, but I feel like that's just a strength rather than, I don't think I have to do one or the other. I think I can bring them all together. And then there's something special that you can bring to the table through all the styles that you play. I kind of believe like it's more of that sort of effect. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, guys. You're awesome.